Hello. How are you? It's Friday night. We made it. Yay. I'm actually trying out a new filter here on Instagram, so hopefully everyone is doing well. You are watching Travel the World as a Speaker, and tonight we're going to talk about how to create a marketing plan. It's actually just going to be a very, very simple marketing plan because you need this in order to get yourself out there on stage. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into that. And of course, I am your host, Phylecia Jones, and I'm actually the lead researcher and founder of iFind You Close. And the show is brought to you by iFind You Close. And what we do here at iFind You Close is we actually go out and research and find speaking opportunities and deliver them to you. So we kind of take away that extra 4 to 6 hours of looking for opportunities, and we send them to you so that you can go and pitch, get on stage, and grow your business or leverage to travel the world, because that is what we talk about here on the show. So we do a little bit of travel story, that's what I love, with a little bit of speaking, that's what I love, and we try to throw a little bit of lifestyle on top of this speaking thing, just to make it a little bit more fun and not just your grandma's, this is how you speak on stage. That is not what we're going to do. So we're going to talk about a marketing plan so that you can actually get on stage and start traveling. And I actually do not, I do not have a travel story. Yeah, I do. I always say that. I actually do have a travel story for you. All right, so we're here on YouTube. Hey YouTube, hey Annette, how are you doing? And we're actually here on Instagram. So we have a few little, you know what? I forgot to prep all my things. I'm not gonna even lie. I forgot to prep all my things so that we can go through what our marketing plan should look like. But I have notes. So I got to tell you this one quick little travel story. So it's not really a travel story. It's about photos from travel stories, from all of my travels. So whenever I travel, I try to buy paintings or little canvas pieces that I can have framed and put on the wall. So the problem is they never make it to the wall. I have years and years of things from Bhutan, Thailand, Greece, Costa Rica. So I have all of these things ready to go, and they've been sitting around like in closets all rolled up until a couple of years ago. I met a framer. Her name is Gail Eskinos. Amazing work. I mean, she framed this back here. So that is Gail's work, and it is absolutely beautiful. So she's framed quite a few other things. So everything you see in the background here that is in a frame, that is her work, and I love it. And so she's always getting on me because I still haven't hung any of it. I know, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So we're getting there. So I actually wanted to paint the walls, and I'm actually going to go hang out with her once we, I think she's getting her vaccine. I should be getting a vaccine relatively soon, and we're gonna go hang out. And I have to get one because she's older, and her husband has ALS, so she wants everybody to be safe in her house. Can't fault her for that. So that is part of my little travel story. So the part of the travel story is actually hang your stuff. Seriously, all of those cool photos you take, print them out, everything you buy, get them framed, put them on the wall to remind you. See, if I had all this stuff in the house, I would be reminded of my travel stories. But it just takes a while for me to kind of like, okay, what is my travel story for the night? But that's what we have, and I think we're going to be all right. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in to what we're going to talk about today. It's so funny. I have a friend who is like texting me at the same time while I'm on here. Also, happy Lunar New Year. Yay. It is the year of the ox. Yay. I have to tell you, I know a lot about horoscope, but I don't know a lot about the lunar Chinese horoscope. So I'm going to go get educated because I love that stuff. That's kind of how corny I am. But I do know I am born the year of the horse. Horse is in the house. And I got to go figure out what a horse is. And I started last night of like who I'm compatible with and who I'm not. It's kind of, I love this stuff. Whether or not it's real or not, I actually love it. Okay. You are here. It's Friday night. We're not going to stay too long because I know you got things to do. I don't know. I got TV to watch. That's what I'm doing. And videos to edit. So we're going to talk about how to create a marketing plan so that you can leverage speaking to travel. That's it. The goal is you want to get on stage. You want to be able to use something that you have so that you can travel the world. And I have to tell you, live events are going to come back faster than you think. Just be ready, especially here in the United States. For those of you who are in different countries, I honestly can't speak to what is going on in a different country, but I do know here in the United States, local live events, small events are going to come back faster than you think, and I need you to be prepared. We've talked about this. You really do need to be prepared if you want to get on stage. Now, what we also need to talk about um, is Annette is asking, who am I compatible with? I have no idea when it comes to horses. I don't know. It could be monkeys and rats. Who We will find out. I do know I am compatible in, I'm a Pisces. So who am I compatible with? I'm not compatible with Pisces. We're too emotional and too water signs. I think it's my opposite. I think I'm like compatible with a Virgo or something, like complete opposite or something like that. I have to go. I read these things and it quickly goes out of my brain. Anyway, I got distracted by fun stuff. All right, so we need to talk about how to create a marketing plan so that you can get on stage. And if you are trying to do this to travel, now grow your business, but if you're trying to do this to travel, you're gonna have to kind of put a few things in place. Now, I'm actually gonna try to do this on the go, so that because I didn't, you know, because I just didn't. Now you're gonna see I just didn't. So that's why I'm gonna try to do this on the go, because I had a plan to do all of this, and then I got distracted with some other stuff. But we gotta really talk through what it's gonna take for you to actually get on stage, and then also what it is going to take for you to have something to leverage, so that if the stage is where you want to go so that you can speak, we got to put it all inside of a marketing plan so we can make it make sense. So let me go ahead and do this up here. Let me go ahead and do this. All right, I think we're ready. I think we're kind of ready. I'm trying to get my little things up here so you could be like, Phylecia, you're so prepared. You had everything ready to go. And I'd be like, yeah, I did, because I prepared before this. All right, so the first thing we have to talk about when it comes to this marketing plan, it's going to be a very basic marketing plan just for speaking. So the first thing that we have to talk about, and actually nothing is working because I have to bring all of my things forward. Hold on. Let's see if I can get this going. Oh man, I'm failing, aren't I? Failing. The epic fail while live streaming. But that's okay, because I love you all. You love me. It's Friday night. You ain't got nowhere to go. Or do you? You got somewhere to go? No, I don't. I'm here in the basement. Yeah, actually, I don't think I'm going to be able to get my splash screens to work. Let me see if I got this right. All right. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Boom. Got it. Got it. Got it. All right. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to develop your brand as a speaker. Okay. So sorry it took so long. I had to click through some things. But you need to first develop your brand as a speaker. And what I mean by that is you got to get prepared. That's it. And a lot of these things I'm going to talk about, you're going to have to do these like in parallel. So it's not like step one, step two. It's like things that just that need to be done. So you got to develop your brand as a speaker. That means you got to have your website up and going. You got to have your testimonials. You got to have what it is that you're going to talk about, who you're going to talk about it to. So you got to have all this stuff like prepared. And because what happens is I talk to a lot of people and they're honestly just not prepared when I say, well, okay, who are you talking to and what are you talking to them about? That's where you need to start, and then you need to build this brand around it. You got to build your assets around it. You got to build your social status around it as well. And I'm not saying you got to go and like rechange everything, but when you're out there pitching, people are going to need something to look at. So you need to start developing whatever you have to build this brand around you as a speaker. Also, you got to get your products and services in order. This is everything you need to really work on, because what we don't want you to do is get out there and be not prepared. That's what we don't want. And I've been on you about having products and services, having things in order, because all of those things will be leveraging tools for you to make money if they're not straight paying you, okay? So that's why we got to build this brand, everything around you, okay? And like I said, these are going to be things in parallel, so you can go still be pitching. You don't have to have perfect, But if you're trying to leverage so that we can get some travel in, so that we can get some trips in, you gotta have your stuff together. And remember, what I'm seeing right now is things are going faster than what we planned on, so you need to be ready to go right now. Annette is saying she's talking about the ash, what is my horoscope? Is it astrological things? LO, you were born in March, and you know cool people are born in March. Yes, I'm just very biased about that. She's asking, do you think there is a minimum number of keynote talks you should have ready? One, why do you need so many keynote talks? You remember the thing with having a keynote talk is it's going to be based on how you built your brand around yourself. Remember, you got to develop that brand. The goal, we don't want you to go in and just talk about anything based on anything that people want. Now, I know a lot of speakers, this is going to be very against what some people say, is I can develop a talk for you. But remember, you're only developing based on what it is that you already have knowledge on. So if you're going in and being a sales and leadership person and you already know your steps for sales and leadership, the only thing you're customizing is making sure you bring what they need into the picture. They're not going to come in and say, I need you to come talk about beauty brands. And it's like, well, I don't do that. No, you don't need like multiple keynotes. You do need focus areas. That's the thing, because why are you putting together a keynote talk when you don't really know who you're talking to yet, and you don't really know much about the audience. You can have your broad idea of, look, when I go into a keynote, this is what I talk about, and these are like my 7 steps to having a better life. Now, what I do when I figure out who the audience is and everything, I will customize that talk around it so I can talk directly to you. Of course, I'm not going to go to a place and talk to entrepreneurs when my talk was written down to talk to corporate people. So that's what you don't want to do. So you don't necessarily need, I personally don't think you need to have keynotes ready to go. You just need to have your focus area, because your brand is going to tell people why you are there for a keynote. And your keynote, to be honest, is going to be your story. It's going to be parts of your story mixed in with all the things that that your brand is about. So I don't think you need to have a certain number of keynotes. Now, I will say you do need to have your expert talk. You need to have your keynote talk, and I call it an inadvertent expert. Something you learned along the way, and then your keynote is just a culmination of all those things, your story, and like, here's what I've learned about life. I will say my keynote is, I changed the name of it, but it's pretty much the same kind of keynote. And I will adjust it to whoever I'm talking to. But I call it's the love letter to myself, things I wish I had known about either growing a business or about my career. And these are just the 7 things, like, look, over the last few years, here's what I've learned. And I learned that I wish I had known this when I was in my career as an engineer, as a computer scientist, or I wish I had known this when I first started my business. So I really don't have a whole bunch of different keynotes. I have different talks, but my keynote is the one that gets me paid. For speakers, one sheet media kit, do you think that is not streamlined if I had podcasting and performance as credits? For my speaker one sheet, do you think it's not streamlined if I add podcasting and performance as credits? Remember, don't get too far in the weeds on this, but the other thing I do want you to remember, I'm trying to book you to speak, not book you to perform. Just something to think about. I want to see the credits are the credits are good, or the credibility from podcasting and performing are great, but I still need to know that you've commanded a stage. Remember, I'm trying to book you to be in front of 20, 100, 500, 1,000 people. I'm not necessarily booking you to perform, and I'm not necessarily booking you to do a podcast. So I know it sounds really weird. I mean, put all this stuff on your website, but I do have one goal. I'm trying to book you to speak. I know it sounds a little harsh, doesn't it? But that's the reality of it. That's why I'm trying to book you. All right. So the next thing that you need to do when it comes to developing your marketing plan is, one, you need to develop that brand around you. All right. What is it that you want to be known for? Whenever you speak, no matter how you deliver it, what is it that you want to be known for? For me, it's like the things I wish I had known. That is what I want to be known for in my career, growing my business. And then you can have other ideas that you can talk about, but you don't want to give too many people, you want to focus down so it's all kind of the same, whereas you're not spread out in many different places. For me, I could talk about three different things: women in technology. I can talk about entrepreneurship, and I could talk about, there was something else, money. Those are my three focus areas, and I know which ones will get me big time speaking gigs, and I know which ones will get me booked to market my business. All right, so the next thing that we need to talk about is, in your marketing plan, you need to write down what it is that you want to achieve over the next 6 to 12 months. And yes, these are goals, but there's other things that we need to kind of talk about when it comes to goals. Now, we've talked about this before. We have to have, I call them, uh, achievement goals and then journey goals. The achievement goals, I want 24 speaking gigs in the next 12 months. That's the achievement goals. Those are the outcome goals, actually. Outcome goals. So we need some outcome goals, but we also need journey goals. And the journey goals are what I call the work you're actually going to do. Because sometimes we can put a whole bunch of outcome goals and we don't have a how we're going to really achieve the outcome. So I want some journey goals, and journey goals are, I'm going to pitch 15 speaking engagements every month. I'm going to pitch 20 speaking engagements every week. Those are kind of the journey. Like, what is it that you're willing to do to achieve that outcome goal? But you got to write it down. What is it that you want to achieve over the next 6 to 12 months? Once you've created this brand around what you want to talk about, what is it that you want to achieve for the next 6 to 12 months? And also, when it comes to this brand, it doesn't have to be this whole big save the world thing. It's just, I want to talk about technology and UI preferences. That's all I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to build my brand around, and I'm going to be the expert on that. Boom, that's it. Now we got to determine what is it that we want to achieve over the next 6 to 12 months. Now, we're talking about leveraging speaking so that we can travel. Now, of course, we can leverage speaking to grow a business, but what is it that you want to do? I want to leverage speaking so I can get a trip to Paris in the next 12 months. I want to leverage speaking so that I can, have 4 speaking engagements over the next 12 months. But I also need to put down what my journey is going to be. I'm going to pitch 100 a week. I'm going to pitch 200 a week, 20 a week, whatever it is. I'm going to sign up for iFind You Close. Boom. There you go. I'm going to sign up for iFind You Close so that I can have speaking opportunities delivered to me so that I can pitch. That's what you need to do when it comes to, deciding what it is that you want to achieve. Because a lot of people just I want to be famous. That ain't good enough. A lot of people want to be famous, but you got to figure out how you're going to get there and what is that you want it to do. Um, yeah, Annette is asking, because of your math background, did you go back over the last few years and get the conversion rate from the number of pitches to the booking of the speaking engagements? So funny. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, Annette. That's going to be part of the process. Tracking, I actually track as I go. I don't go backwards. I track as I go because what a good friend told me, you can't improve what you don't track. And going backwards, you can go backwards. If you haven't done it, you should go track, but you need to track as you go. There's a lot of things you need to track. We'll talk about that in a moment because it's kind of crucial. Because if you're not improving, then what's the point in doing this? You need to track how many pitches. You need to track how many stages. You need to track how many people you're getting in front of. You need to track every last thing that you are doing. All right. So the next thing that we got to do while we're developing our marketing plan, our marketing strategy is, who are you trying to reach? Period. You got your goals, but who? Who? Sound like an owl. Who are you trying to reach? Remember, if we're trying to leverage this so that we can travel, who? Who will let us in front of their audience? Who has an event that need our talent, our message? Who? You got to be very clear. Now, this is an extreme disconnect when I talk to a lot of people. They were like, I just want to travel. Okay, and I want to speak. Okay, who's the industry? I don't know. I can talk to anybody. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. Remember, we got to have a plan. If we just keep throwing it out there, we're going to be like, okay, just lost or whatever. I want you to have a plan. Who's the industry? The audience is important, but we got to figure out who has our audience. And I see a lot of people, they come to me like, oh, Phylecia, I want to talk to 40 and 50-year-old women who only have hair to their ear and who have fingernail polish, red on their fingers. That's great. I'm glad you took that time to come up with your ideal client and your avatar. Where are they? And that's where we get lost. Like, where are they? Where do I find these people? Because I tell people, look, especially when I do custom research for people, if you don't know how to find these people, I don't know how to find these people. So that's why we got to be very clear. Now, if you're experimenting with an audience, that's great. You can experiment and we will target them, but we need to know who. Who is it that you want to try first? All right. Who? Who? So make sure that is part of your marketing plan. All right. Yeah, Annette is saying a lot of people want to be famous and think they can speak because they like to talk. Yeah, it's a lot of people who like to talk. Now, here's the thing. You still need to practice. A lot of people just don't practice. Now, I will definitely say my virtual presentations are very different than when I am speaking in person. And best believe I do practice my virtual presentations, but I try to keep virtual very relaxed because of the situations that a lot of us are finding ourselves in. But yeah, if you're paying me a bunch of money, I am practicing, I'm walking and practicing all kinds of things. A lot of people just don't practice and they think they can talk. That's why you do live streaming and people can turn you off. Uh, all right, so we've talked about who we are trying to reach, and now we got to figure out, how are you going to reach them? How are you going to reach these people? This is the very crucial time. So remember, we've developed a brand around what it is that we want to talk about and what we want to do. We want to become known for something. We got our website, we got our assets together, we got our talks together, what we're going to talk about, who we're going to, and what we want to say. We got our products and services together. The next thing is, what do you want to achieve over the next six to 12 months? Outcome goals and journey goals. What do we want to achieve? And then how much work are we willing to put into it? We got to figure out who we are trying to reach. The who. That has to be very clear. Who are we trying to reach? Because remember, your talk is not necessarily meant for everybody. So who are you trying to reach? And it's not so much just your avatar, not just your ideal client. It is who they are and who has the audience for them. Remember, your ideal client all of a sudden is a speaker coordinator. It's people like me who like to book women like you or men like you. That's where you got to figure out the who. And now we got to figure out, how are we going to reach them? That's it. How are we going to reach them? So a lot of people come to me and say, Phylecia, I want to do this. And I was like, well, we got to figure out how we're going to reach them. Now, I only have one method of reaching people. I know how to research. I know how to pitch. I've researched the gigs. That's why we have iFind You Close, because I've researched the opportunities. Now it's up to you to pitch. Outside of that, there are many other ways that you can get in front of these people. You got LinkedIn, you have social media strategies, you can do ads. Only if you got to have your stuff together for ads. How are we going to call people? Are we going to go to their houses? Are we going to speak to convert? You got to figure out how we're going to reach these people. Phone calls. Is it going to be, sliding into people's DMs? Figure it out, okay? You got to figure it out, and you got to have multiple strategies. iFind You Close is probably just 20% of the strategy. You got another 20% where you got to actually go back and find these contacts from old jobs and things like that. Another 20% is going to be you going out and networking. That's why we got to figure out how you are going to reach these people. There is no miracle way to finding all of these speaking engagements. You're going to have to do all of the things. And you're going to have to choose a couple of them and get good at them. If you choose iFind You Close, and I'm just using my company as an example. If you choose iFind You Close to find speaking gigs, you need to do it. Every week you need to get in there and pitch. What I'm finding is a lot of people come in there like, oh my gosh, like, this is work. Like, yes, it is. It is work. If you're going to do it, you need to do it. I mean, I've had people who've signed up and I was like, there's no miracle to it. You just got to do the work. And they have been on many, many stages. Wow. But you got to do the work. If you're going to use social media, you got to put in the work. If you're going to go and knock on people's doors, put in the work. You got to figure out how are you going to reach these people that have this audience that you said you want to get in front of. That's where we got to come up with this strategy, okay? We got to figure out the how. Like I said, I'm just giving you an overview of the strategy. We got to figure out how we are actually going to reach these people, okay? All right, you got any questions? Put them in the comment box. I know we're getting there. Annette said, where they are, meaning what events they go and what industry they are part of. A lot of people want, okay. Where they are, meaning what events they go to and what industry they are a part of. Repeat that again, Annette. I think we missed some words. So I know you said that we need to be getting organized in tandem with pitching. So do you recommend getting all that together before joining iFind You Close? Really good marketing question for me to slide in and market to you about iFind You Close. Thank you, Annette. I really do appreciate it. So here's the deal with iFind You Close. Yes, everything is going to be in tandem. The one thing that is, I don't know if it's unique, but one thing I do like about iFind You Close is because we are serving up events that are looking for speakers. And at the same time, you will start learning what it is what that event wants, okay? So a lot of these are application based, and then we will go in and tell you, hey, this is going to be a cold pitch. You got to do this. Even with the applications, you still need your website together. You still need your testimonials. You still need your bios. You still need your talks. They need all of this stuff. But what I do like about iFind You Close is it forces you to start paying attention. What you will find is as soon as you start looking at these gigs, it's like, oh, okay, I need to go do this. I need to go do this. And then you're going to come back and say, okay, Phylecia was right. I need to have my stuff together, because you can't go and apply and have nothing together. But what I do like about iFind You Close is it's a jarring, like, okay, if I want this gig, I need to get my stuff in order, because there's a date. There's a date to it, okay? So that's what I really like about iFind You Close, so that it's not just me telling you, it's just proof of like, oh, she's actually right. I actually do need to kind of sit down and get all my stuff together. And if it's a gig that you really want, you'll do it. You will absolutely do it, because there's a deadline, and it's just not going to be willy-nilly. Oh, I'll just wait till next week. But it's like, no, this event wants me, because a lot of people, like, I'll do it in a month or two or whatever. When you have hardcore deadlines, it'll make you do some things. It'll make you do some things really fast. Annette was saying the question was in regards to where to find who you want to reach. Okay, what industry they are a part of. I'm going to guess at what you were asking me, because I honestly couldn't understand where they are, meaning, oh, I get it. Where they are, meaning what events they go to and what industry they're part of. Okay, duh. I got it, Annette. I got it. Live streaming questions, y'all. All right, so what she's asking is in regards to where to find the who you want to reach. She was asking where they are, meaning, are you saying the events they go to and what industry they are part of? Yes. When we're talking about who you're trying to reach, you got to figure out where these people are. And when you only have your ideal client or your avatar, that's where we get lost. And a lot of people, like, I only want to work speak in front of mid-career women who've had children. That's great. My next question is, all right, where do you think they are? This is part of the research that you have to do. Where do mid-career women hang out? Are they at the Whole Foods convention? I mean, are they at the county fair? This is where you do have to figure out where they are. Now, the other thing is, a lot of these people are sitting inside of certain industries. And that's where we have to kind of match your ideal to your industry. Like, there are mid-career women inside of technology. You got to talk to everybody to get to those few. But that's why we have to kind of figure out where are your people and who can you talk to the easiest. Like me, I can go and talk to women in tech because I know exactly what's going on with women in tech. I know exactly what's going on with their career. I know where they're getting stuck. And I know all the things about them that they're about to leave their career after 12 years. And I can relate to them because that's what I do. Now, can I go and speak to a manufacturing group and still have, I only want to speak to women in mid-career? I could, but I'm going to have to change up things a little bit more because I need to understand what manufacturing is. So you got to just figure out where do your people hang out? especially in large numbers. One of my business coaches said, your job when you're running your business is to figure out where your ideal client is in large numbers and how you can get in front of them. And if your ideal client is a mid-career woman, we got to figure out where are they. That's where I tell people who work with me one-on-one, I need to know where they are, and I need to get an idea so I can know where to start. Because if you just tell me I want to work with women, there's a lot of women in this world, and there's a lot of women doing a lot of things that you may not want to be a part of, but they may pay you. I don't know. So that's why you got to figure out where they are, okay? And the final one is you need to track your progress. I'm going to put this up here on the board. Boom, 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 boom. I get to type at the same time because I am talented. Track your progress. Now, this is going back to what Annette asked before. Have I gone back and done the numbers? The thing is, you need to track as you go. Yes, if you have not done your numbers before and tracking your conversions, you need to go back. Now, I have a method, and actually, this is something that I'm about to start teaching inside of iFind You Close, of how I do track using certain tools. But I track as I go, and I know exactly how many I've pitched, how many have converted, how many I have failed at, and how many just said, rejected me. I know all of those things. And that's why you have to start tracking as you go, because what you may find is that, your mid-career 40-year-old woman is sitting in healthcare. And for whatever reason, you're finding more people that are relating to you in healthcare. So that way, like, you know what, we're going to stop going after women in tech events and we're going to focus on healthcare. You have to track as you go. And the other thing with tracking is you get to track whatever talk you pitched. You can see which one is landing more. That's the other ultimate thing. Which of your pitches is landing? Like, you'll be surprised. You may have one talk, and it's not necessarily talk. I will say you may have one pitch that is working. It is absolutely working, and another one is just like, I like this one, but nobody wants it. So that's why we have to track as you go. Track your progress. Everything you're doing, you need to track, because what you cannot improve what you don't track. That's it. You cannot improve what you don't track. When I talk to people about getting on stage, like, you said you wanted to travel, but you're only doing local events. You're not really traveling. So you need to start tracking all of that so that you can go bigger when you need to, and figuring out what you need to do to leverage. So it's pre-tracking, post-tracking. You need to track everything. And Annette is saying, I track as I go with my dance projects, auditions, festivals, so I know I can do the same thing with speaking. Yeah, it's just tracking. You just need to keep up with everything. And if you're not, you're gonna hate yourself. I hate to say that. You're gonna hate yourself because you'll be like, I forgot what I did here. All right, so just a quick review for everyone about the how to create a marketing plan for your speaking, especially if you're trying to leverage this to travel. Remember, that's the other thing. You said you want to leverage this to travel or to grow your business, but I want you to specifically think about, if you're trying to do all these so you can travel, first you need to develop your brand as a speaker. What is it that you're talking about? Build all the assets around it. If you're only going to talk about educational talks to UI developers, that's it. Become the expert, and make sure, if you want to have products and services associated with that, do it, okay? Do it. You don't have to always do these things, but the thing is, I want you to kind of understand what it is that you're walking into. The second thing is, what is it that you want to achieve over the next 6 to 12 months? We got to have outcome goals. We got to have journey goals. Remember your outcome goals. I want five gigs between Paris and Dubai. That pay $20,000. Gosh, if you get those, let me know. I want 5 gigs, and the journey goals are, how many gigs am I going to pitch each week? How many gigs am I going to pitch to do this? How many gigs am I going to go research over in Dubai? Am I going to hire somebody to help me research in Dubai? You got to figure out what those journey goals are, so that you can reach your outcome goals. The third thing is, you got to figure out who you're trying to reach. I mean, that's it. Who is it that you're trying to reach? What particular audience, and who has that audience? Remember, in this whole journey, your client has just changed. It is not somebody sitting in the audience. Your client It's the person that's booking you. I know. So you better get on it. And then you got to figure out how you're going to reach that person that is going to book you. Are we sending emails? Are we calling? Are we signing up for services? What is the method to get there? And then finally track your progress. That's it. You got to start tracking. That's all I got for you. How was it? Did you learn anything? Hopefully you learned a few things, and some things, you don't have to learn and implement everything, but just make sure you have a couple of things in the back of your head, like, I need to start tracking my gigs, or I need help with pitching. All these things, you need to just kind of think about how it is that you're going to market yourself, especially for those of you who are trying to leverage this to travel. And I got to tell you, you better get on it now. You better get on it now, because there's a lot of other people. Hey, I may start taking gigs from you, but you need to get on it now. Unfortunately, the way things might be going, I don't know if you have a lot of time to sit and figure it out later. Ooh, yeah. Things are moving a lot faster. All right, with that, that is all I have for you. And tomorrow we're going to talk about how to make money online. How to make money online. Yay! That's what we do on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And to let you know, we will be taking a week off. We will be hitting 39, 40 shows by this weekend. That's a lot. So we're going to take a week off because I got to bring my assistant in to help me get caught up with scheduling everything. So we're trying to make sure that we are scheduling and getting way, way, way ahead. So we need a week to kind of get ourselves organized so that we can bring some more content. And FYI, we will be adding more tech tools for speakers. So I have figured out how I can show you all of the different things so that you can just be on point with all of the technology. So I'm excited about that. So after we take our break, we're gonna come back and just throw in all kinds of tech for the virtual speakers, and making sure that you have this virtual thing in the back pocket after we go live. And that is asking, how do you follow up with speaker coordinators after you've done an event? Time frame. Instantly. You follow up with people pretty instantly because, one, you should get a testimonial, and two, you need to send a thank you card. Do it sooner rather than later. I mean, the thank you gift can go, I would say within 2 to 3 weeks, but as soon as you can, because, the longer you go, you're going to forget. Also, with the testimonial, you want to do that as fresh on their brain as possible. All right. I got to go because it's my night to do dinner. All right, my IG people, I appreciate you for being here. I'll see you next week because we don't go live on IG on the weekends. You got to come over here to ifindyoukclothes.com/YouTube and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, subscribe, please. All right, IG folks, see ya. For everybody else here, thank you so very much for hanging out with me. Annette, thank you for participating. Hopefully you got some things that'll help you out. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about how to make money online. Yay. Oh, and I'm going to go watch a movie. Probably some type of zombie thing. Who knows? Who knows what we're going to watch tonight? Take care of yourself. Have a good night. Stay safe. If you're here in Colorado, it's 3 degrees. Literally. No, sorry. It's 6. Yeah, it's 6 degrees. Stay warm if you're cold. Bye.